Hello and welcome to Autoportal.com, the car buying website that helps you buy better. If you want unbiased, honest, and easy to understand car buying advice, then please subscribe to our channel by clicking over here. And while you're at it, also click on the bell icon to receive all our notifications first. Thanks for watching. Well, Mahindra and Mahindra can well and truly be credited for starting off the SUV revolution here in India way back in the early 2000s with the launch of the Scorpio. Yes, the Scorpio was a big hit at that time, and after that, the premium and more upmarket XUV took over from the Scorpio. But of late, sales have been under pressure due to fresh arrivals, especially from Hyundai, as well as its Indian rival, Tata Motors. So has Mahindra still got what it takes to beat its rivals at its own game? We'll find that out on the show today with the all-new XUV 500. Well, so if you're planning to sell your car first before planning this one, then you should definitely consider Cars24. Visit any of their 50 branches across India and sell your car at the best price. Not only this, Cars24 will immediately transfer the money into your bank account and will also take care of all the paperwork, including the RC transfer. So check out Cars24 today. Well, so the cabin of the new 500 is a bit of a mixed bag. Now, you do get a sense of luxury as well as opulence as soon as you sit on these leather seats. They are quilted leather and they really look very premium and very upmarket, and they're very good in terms of the comfort as well. They have excellent support for the under thighs as well as very good support for your lower back. And Mahindra has also improved the perceived quality levels on this car. You get new soft touch materials over here on top of the dashboard. In terms of the features also, you get a whole gamut of features. You get this sunroof, you get 6 airbags, and you also get Mahindra's mild hybrid system, which means when you're standing at a signal for too long, the engine will automatically cut off and switch off if you are, of course, in neutral. So that's something which helps fuel efficiency by quite a long way. Why this car is also impressive is in terms of overall storage capacity, because it is an SUV. Utility places are pretty good. You get this huge elbow box over here where you can keep your wallet and other odds and ends. You can also keep a couple of cans of Diet Coke and other stuff over here because it is a cool box over here. And the best place to keep those big bottles is here in this compartment, because it is a large compartment and can house not 1 but 1.5 liter bottles over here. Apart from that, you also get a decent glove box, and overall storage capacity all across the cabin is good. One area though where Mahindra can improve this car is in the feel of the center console and the switchgear over here, and also improve the size of this infotainment system because it is too small at the moment, and even the legibility isn't the best. If you have harsh sunlight on a bright and hot summer day like today, then it can be a little difficult to read on the go, and the switches over here and the center console just don't have that same premium feel that the rest of the cabin and the seats especially have to offer. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. If you prefer to be chauffeur driven all day long in your SUV, then you'll definitely like the experience over here in the XUV 500. Now, the front seat has been adjusted for my height and my driving position, and my height for reference is 5'10". So if you have a chauffeur who's about 5'10" or 5'11", then as you can see, you have loads of knee room at the back. Headroom also is pretty generous, and I have about 4 or 5 inches between my head and the roof, which means that if you're about 6'2" or even 6'3", you should be quite okay in these seats. Now, not only is the XUV's rear cabin impressive for sheer headroom as well as knee room, it's also genuinely a very wide car at the back, and the seats are flat, which means that whoever's sitting here has plenty of place for his legs, and even the floor panel is completely flattish, so whoever's sitting here has great amount of space to stretch his legs, and it is a nice place for 3 occupants. Of course, if you're traveling only with 2, you can pull out this armrest and sit here like the boss. The other good point about these seats is the fact that the support for your under thighs is excellent, because the seat scob is pretty wide, and even the backrest angle is pretty good. You get your own AC vents in the pillow over here, because Mahindra has smartly decided not to put vents here, which can be a little intrusive for people who are constantly moving around in the car like this, and there's a tendency to hit your leg with the vent. So that's something that Mahindra have done very smartly and positioned them here. You also get 2 seats at the back, but to be honest, jumping in those seats will look very ungainly and very ungraceful, so I'm not going to get in them, but we will show you some visuals of those seats now. Now, if you're planning to take your entire family of 7 with you on that long holiday for a week up the hills, then you'll also need another car at the back, because with 7 seats all up, there's absolutely no place here. Maybe there's space enough for a 2-year-old's school bag, but apart from that, as you can see, the area is completely hopeless. What you can also do is tell those 2 relatives who will be sitting at the back to take that Volvo bus or take that state transport bus, and after that you get a nice and square area to keep your luggage for the entire family, and there's absolutely no loading lip as well. So it is a nice and usable boot for that 10-day long trip up the hills with the last road down, and of course your relatives will be coming in the other bus at the back. But that said, you'll have 2 relatives less at the end of that long holiday up the hills. Well, so the XUV comes with 2 engine options. There's a petrol as well as a diesel. Both are 2.2 litre versions. But the diesel makes more power. It makes about 155 bhp of power and about 360 Nm of torque. And it comes with a manual 6-speed gearbox that we are driving today. Now, in terms of overall engine feel, I have to say that this is a nice and punchy diesel engine. There's loads of torque available from about 1500, 1600 RPM. But of course, the best usable power comes around 1800 RPM and goes all the way up to about 4500 RPM. And it is a pretty refined diesel engine as well. Cabin isolation is pretty good when you are on the go and once the engine has warmed up enough. And the addition of a 6th gear, the additional 6th gear means that the engine is very flexible as well on the highway. If you're doing speeds, say of about 80 or 90 kph on the highway, the engine is spinning at a relatively low 1500, 1600 RPM, which means that the cabin really feels nice and isolated from whatever's happening on the outside. Well, what also makes the cabin nice and isolated from whatever's happening on the outside is the fact that there is absolutely no wind whistle coming through in these pillars. So if you're doing speeds of about 90 or 100 kph, which are legal speeds on most highways, there's hardly any tire noise, hardly any wind whistle, and the engine also sounds like a distant murmur, and it is a very nice and relaxing place to be in. What also adds to that relaxing nature of this car are these seats, and I have to say that Mahindra really has done a fantastic job with the comfort on these seats. They offer you very good cushioning and very good relaxation. What you can also really enjoy about the XUV 500 is its ride comfort. Yes, no matter what speeds you're doing, slow city speeds or faster highway speeds, this car simply annihilates all those bumps and potholes and badly pastured roads. There's no slowing down the XUV when you see a badly pastured road or a rumble strip up ahead. You can simply take off and glide over all those badly surfaced roads. So that is something very good. When you're doing speeds in excess of 90 or 100 kph on the highway, this car offers you good stability as well. It definitely feels a lot more stable than my ex-girlfriend did, and it is a nice car for those long highway trips. What buyers will also appreciate about the XUV 500 is its fuel economy, because the economy from this car that we're getting on the onboard trip computer is around 12 kpl, which is pretty impressive considering the size, the weight, as well as the power that this car has. So getting about 12 when we have been driving this car in the city with the AC on and a complement of 3 people on board is pretty nice. Now, in terms of the overall gearbox feel, the gearbox is decent in operation. The shifts are pretty consistent and pretty precise, but the throw is rather long, so you have to really use your muscles quite a bit, and it does need a bit of a heavy hand to shift as well. It's not the lightest gearbox and clutch unit around, so that's quite okay because it is a heavy SUV and does use a pretty big capacity diesel engine, so it is well within acceptable limits. Now, the steering wheel also has been tuned more for driving within the city, which means that it is on the lighter side. It is overtly light steering wheel to operate, and that's good news for people who drive a lot in the city because they don't want to tire themselves out, and most buyers who buy these cars do drive these cars mostly in the city, so it is a big boon for them. That said, if you take this car out on the highway, it doesn't start feeling nervous, and you won't really missing that weightiness in the steering wheel. You'll be quite okay as speeds increase on the highway because the steering wheel does offer you pretty precise and decent feedback as well. Now, the XUV can't really be termed a sporty SUV, and you can't really call it a keen driver's car because there is plenty of body roll when you push this car into corners, and you will of course feel the car leaning around like this, so that's something that keen drivers won't appreciate. But to be honest, most buyers who buy these cars want them to be comfortable and refined cars and buy them more for the image as well as the premium SUV feel that these cars offer. And those departments, which include fuel efficiency, refinement, overall image, as well as strong and rugged looks, this car definitely has what it takes to beat its rivals. Well, so the XUV 500 might not have the same finesse or sophistication that some of its rivals possess, but that said, it comes across as a reliable, fuel-efficient, refined and rugged SUV which offers you a touch of class as well as luxury on the inside of the cabin. Also remember, with 7-seat, it offers you great versatility, which is something that its rivals don't possess, and being Mahindra & Mahindra gives you a certain pride of ownership because it is, after all, a made in India SUV. It's bye for now and hope to see you soon.